I just got this. This is the Sony Burano. I have been using this camera for years now, so many times, and it was finally time to actually pull the trigger and buy one because I do really love this camera, but it just hasn't been something that I could purchase yet. And a few things have come up and I felt like it was time to actually buy it. So today we're unboxing this, the Sony Burano. So here's the box. What else I'll be doing is also unboxing. I'll show you these. I won't unbox the cards, but I've got 2 of these 960 tough cards. I think 2 is like the minimum amount that you should get. Really, 3 would be nice, but they are pretty expensive. Data's expensive. This fantastic CF Express B XQD card reader as well. I don't think we need to unbox them. They're just cards and media. That's probably the most boring part of a camera. And then there is this as well, the Sony side handle. So that doesn't come with the camera usually. That's an extra purchase. So if you want that, that is a purchase on top of the Burano purchase. So I'll start with the camera. This is the box. You can see beautiful Sony Burano on the side there. Hopefully it looks like that, but maybe a little bit more colorful around the side. Nice, right there. And I'm looking forward to this. I actually got this yesterday and I've been putting it off because a lot of people told me that I should do an unboxing of this. So hopefully it's worthwhile for you. I'm not sure who will watch this, but I'm excited to unbox it, so I hope that you're excited to see as well. Okay, I think I'm ready. 1 piece of tape up the top. Imagine if I cut right through the camera right then. That would be terrible. And lifting it up, let's see what we've got in here. Okay, turning it around. Apologies for seeing my tripod legs in here. That I should have got a C-stand, but I just can't be stuffed. So up the top here, got a nice paper packet. I love that Sony and are just doing cardboard and paper packaging now. It's nice that there's no, there's no plastic anymore. So first thing we've got is this, the E-mount body cap. So that's good. I'm guessing that the PL mount is already on there. So I'll just pop that to the side. This in here sort of looks like an old floppy disk, but I'm sure it's not. Oh, I'm worried. Which way do I open this? Sony have thought of everything. This looks like a shim, PL shim, I reckon. Oh, there's one there. What is that? Oi, shims everywhere. Okay, that's a shim. For the PL mount, would have been good to maybe have that labeled so that I didn't do that, but it's done now. I've never shimmed a PL before. I usually get one of my assistants to do it because it does have to be perfect. And you see these shims are so thin. That's like absolutely razor thin. Crazy. Okay, where am I? Okay. Oh my gosh. That was chaos. I'm kind of embarrassed about that. Sorry for everyone at home, but I hope you got a laugh out of that at least, because that was fucking overwhelming. Okay, and there's a few more shims in there. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Oh my gosh, what do I even do with them now? I wish that packet had said, hey, there's loose shims in here on this cardboard thing. Okay, back you go, my friends. Hopefully I don't have to open that very often, but now I know. And this looks like an actual full shim. So there must be quarter shims and a full shim. So there we go, that's a nice and thick one, just a single one. just in case your back focus on your PL lenses is out. That is a good thing to have. So I will have to get a good little case for them, I reckon, because they are important. It's nice that Sony's actually thought of that. You can tell that the engineers actually know what they're doing. So what's in this little one here? Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, there we go, 4 screws. I know what those 4 screws are for. That would be for the top handle. Okay. You can hear my phone going off crazy. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me, guys? I'm just dropping stuff like crazy today. I think I might actually be like a little nervous, to be honest. It's like I haven't owned a camera in so long because I kind of just wanted to be a renter of cameras. But then this camera just made so much sense. The Sony Burano, I've used it so much. I have this rule where, like, if you've used a camera 10 times in 1 year, it's time to buy the camera. So that's what I've done here. So this is the manual. I actually like reading manuals. I'm interested to know if anyone else actually likes reading manuals as well. It kind of makes me a bit of a nerd, but I like doing it. Especially before bed. Gets me excited because I feel like I know a lot about this camera. I've used it a lot, but I can always know a lot more. So I'm going to protect these shims, put them back in this bit here until I find a better case for them. Okay, cool. Back in there. Alrighty. And time for the good stuff. So first cab off the rank. Looks like we've got, I'm loving this paper packaging. A top handle. This is such a decent top handle too, by the way. Like, it's just so perfectly made. It's got everything you need on it. This is a bit weird. I don't really understand why that's not another 3/8. I'd prefer another 3/8 at the back. It's pretty rare that you'd use a 1/4 at the back, but good still nonetheless. Just going to iris up a bit here as it's getting darker. I'm just using natural light. So top handle, that nice adjuster there. Feels really good. This is the same top handle. I'm pretty sure the same top handle is on the Venice. It's great. I think I will use that top handle in future. I'll just pop that over there. And then getting into the good stuff. Oh man. This is exciting. I really need to take a moment to actually think about this and how far I've come as a filmmaker that I can actually buy this camera. So here we go. Nice, there's a few little bits and pieces in here too, as you can see. All right, what's this? Yeah, the side mount for the monitor. So I'm just going to go ahead and chuck that straight on here. Somehow. Come on, Liam. Pushing the pin down. Nice. Putting that together. Trying not to thread it in my excitement. My hands are actually shaking. I'm so like excited about this. Feels weird. Feels weird to be this excited about something. Okay, there we go. That's on the side there. I reckon this will be our monitor. Here we go. Nice. Awesome. That's great. Buttons feel perfect. Man. the cable that is notoriously too short. I will be getting a mid 49 extender for that cable. That is one of the first things I will be getting. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that straight on the side. May as well build it while we're going. Nice. Oh, I've put it on upside down. That's all right. Yeah, I am super excited about this. It's just a bit overwhelming today because it's come past very quickly. I got this camera from Limac in Sydney via Sony, and it's been something that has been on my mind for a long time, but I haven't wanted to pull the trigger. And then with a couple of firmware updates, the Burano has really just become a really good camera. You know, I liked it at the start. I've used it for a lot of projects, but after a few firmware updates, it actually just became such a better camera than I imagined it could be. You know, and so now we are here. So that's put together, great. Oh, I know what this is. This is my least favorite part of this camera. The viewfinder. This viewfinder is such a disappointment. I think every single person who uses this camera knows that this viewfinder is not great, but I will be replacing this with a bright tangerine viewfinder. I think that's a necessity on these. I don't really use the viewfinder on this camera too much, but you do need a good one for sure. So that's the viewfinder there. I'm just going to pop that to the side. Let's pretend that doesn't exist today. Okay, and I reckon we all know what this is. This is, let's just check if there's anything else underneath there at the moment. Absolutely nothing underneath there. I know what this is. Oh, oh man. There we go. Brand new Sony Burano. There's the top. Man, I love how many mounting holes are on this camera. And it just feels so solid. If you've used the FX6 a lot, you know, you're kind of used to like a composite body. Mounting holes on the bottom, there's just so many. Like that is so similar to the Venice. And that's what you really want with a professional grade camera, is just multiple mounting holes, really well put together. If you're used to the FX6, it's very much a plastic composite body. This is such a sturdier body than the FX6. It really is that difference between FX6 and of course the Venice, and it feels like the best of both worlds really. PL mount on the front there. I'm just going to raise the EI a bit. I'm shooting today on the FX2. I've just raised the EI up to 2000, which I still think is pretty clean. FX2, so full Sony today. So that's cool. Don't hate me, but I'm going to do this especially for you guys. I'm going to look at the sensor in there. It's kind of naughty, isn't it? But it's my camera. I can do what I want. This PL mount on this is so sturdy. It's the same one, I'm pretty sure the same one as the Venice. And it's just such a good PL mount. This whole camera is just so well made. You know, it does come at that price point. I think unless you've used the camera before, the price point can kind of be a bit of a strange one. It is quite an expensive camera. And it does look like the FX6 to a lot of people, especially from this side. It sort of looks a lot like an FX6 or an FX9. And so you can kind of look at it and go, well, why does it cost so much money? But as soon as you actually hold one and you feel the build quality and how much different the build quality is, and then once you shoot with it and shoot with those XOCN LT codec, you know, and just realize that this camera actually replaces every single camera below it in the lineup. You know, you don't need any other cameras. Like, it can do literally anything. I think that's when the price point starts to make sense, really. And the viewfinder is not good. Like the, I hate that loop. I hate it so much. But this camera on its own is just, I think, one of the best things ever. And I'm really happy with it. So that's the camera there. So I reckon I might close this box up and we'll put the handle on and I can show you guys what that looks like. So let's close it up. I'm in Sydney, so it is getting dark really early now at the moment as I close this up. It's seriously dark tonight and it's not even 5 p.m. yet. So you'll have to excuse my changing light. I just really wanted to get this done before dinner time. I have a kid, I have a 6-year-old kid, and dinner time is witching hour. So let's have a look at this before I do it. So take that off there, open up the card slot. That's a card slot. You can see 2 CF Express cards go in there. I only use one from now on at one time because the other day I had a really quick run and gun shoot. So I loaded up 2 cards and I had my assistant with me. I loaded up 2 cards, A and B. Halfway through the day, I accidentally pressed this with my waist and it changed slots. And then we started recording to the other one. End of the day, I just took this out, gave it to my assistant, gave the first card to the assistant, and he dumped down the first card. And we were like, okay, cool, time to go. Went home. The next day, I checked the card again, the B card, luckily before I formatted it, and the B card had half the shoot on it. So I had to upload these files to the client. Which was really embarrassing. So I will never put 2 cards in the camera again, never ever. Yeah, so that's my story about that. That slot select thing right there is just, I don't think it's a good thing. The slot select button should be inside there so that you can't easily accidentally hit it like I did. Okay, let's have a look here. So grabbing my screws again. So there was 3, there's 4 now. Pop them on there. I'm going to take my viewfinder bracket off. Oh, this is tight. Tight on there. Oh my gosh. Did not expect that to be that tight. That's a good thing though. After a few years of work, that will not be as tight anymore. I'm just getting out my tools here. So this is a great multi-tool. The Red multi-tool, still using it. After all these years, I haven't owned a Red in a long time. But it's a great multi-tool. I'm using the small rig one a bit more these days. That's a good one as well. So lining up the pins there, I'm just gonna ISO up a bit more on the camera. Lining up the pins and start by doing up with the thumb screws there. When you look at this camera without a cage on it and without, in its like very barest form, it does feel quite lean and it is beautiful. And you don't really need to have a cage on it because there are enough mounting points on it that you can kind of attach your accessories without a cage. But I like to have the cage on because, you know, a small cage. I haven't fully decided what cage I'll get yet. I've done a few different things in the past with cages, but with this one, a cage is a big investment and it's something that I want to get right the first time. The good thing about renting this camera for so long is I've rented it from different people in different countries. And I've had the opportunity to try pretty much every single cage that exists for this camera. So I've really been able to figure out which one is the right one. So you can see that there with the top handle on. Looks quite cool. The top handle almost looks a bit comically large on it, doesn't it? Because the camera is so small. So popping that on again. Oh my gosh, this is tight. Better to be too tight than too loose, I think. Okay, and we'll just plug this guy in. So on this always feels like such a lightweight cable, you know, and it feels like quite flimsy, but I had an FS7 Mark II for about 4 years, I think, 3 or 4 years, and had the same cable and that never broke. So I don't expect that this one will either, but I'm getting that mid 49 attachment for the sole reason that I would prefer to be plugging in and out of a mid 49 adapter here than plugging in and out of the body, because it's going to be a lot more expensive to change the port on the body if that gets busted. So that's sort of my thinking at the moment. Oh, look, we may as well put this viewfinder on. As much as I really don't want to or ever want to use it, let's put it on. So how you do that is there's a little release button there. Actually, no, I've done it wrong. You don't have to take that off. You can leave that on. You undo this screw. So that screw there, you undo it. And then you end up re-screwing into here, which is just so dumb. It's just so bad. I just think there's so many things that they got right with this camera, and the viewfinder is just, I don't understand. Like, I don't even really like the viewfinder on the Venice. I use the Venice 2 a lot, Venice 1 and 2 a lot, and the viewfinder on them is just so perplexing to me, because Sony makes the best TVs in the world, right? There's no doubt about that. So why can they not make the best viewfinders and best screens on the cameras in the world? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so this guy here, this is slides in to the side here. So which way does it slide in from? Slides in like that. What? Clips in, and then the whole viewfinder bracket sits down like that. Looks very similar to the old F5 viewfinders. So not the OLED ones, but the ones that came with it before. Yeah, so that's the way it looks. Oh, you can hear my family's just got home, so my little boy is probably going to run in now and want to check out the camera. Hopefully, or maybe he doesn't realize. Yeah. You'll hear it soon. No, his mates are playing massive Lego outside. And you can see my wife's just turned the light on now. I'm going to go ask her to turn the light off. Okay. So that's what happens when you got a family. You got to fit these things in between everything else. Oh, and now my dog wants to get out. See what my wife's brought home from the shops. Okay, this is the grip remote control. Yeah, warranty, grip remote control, all that stuff in there. I don't think that's going to be too amazing to read. Something else in here. Oh yeah, disposal notice. My little invoice there, which I'll hold on to. Okay, in here, just going to bump that ISO up again. I'm really chasing it today. I'm at 4,000. I started off at 800 and now I'm at 4,000. So a little bit of packaging stuff. Another little bit of packaging. And I think this is it. This should be all that's in the box. Yeah, cool. Easy. I don't really use this grip much, to be honest. Like, I'm usually shooting from the hip with these cameras because I am quite tall. So I think I might end up just putting this right back in the box, to be honest. Okay. There we go. Got the little toggle there. This handle is awesome, by the way. Like, this has come such a long way since the FS7 and the FS7 Mark II. Like, on the FS7 Mark II, the handle, this bit was so crap. It always used to collapse, and it was just such a poorly engineered thing. This is great. This is so much better. Obviously, it's got the quick release here, so you can rotate it whatever side you want. Lank cable connection. I think lank is still like a weird thing to still be using, considering that it's not a captive cable and it's not really like, that's just such an old school cable type. I really feel like if you're paying this much for a camera, you should be getting like a Fisher Limo sort of cable connection, something that's better. Same with the viewfinder, really. Like, I don't like that, you know, multi-pin port thing that they use. Like, that is for the lower end cameras, the FX6s, the FX9s. Considering how expensive this camera is, it really should be a professional grade. Like, we're paying a professional grade price for these cameras. It really should be a professional grade connection on that viewfinder. So yeah, quick release, zoom rocker, obviously, a couple of buttons here, direct menu, you know, the D-pad thing there, record. Underneath here, you've got this secret 6. I call it the secret 6 button anyway, because, you know, you don't know it's there. Imagine if you'd set that to slot select. Oh my gosh, you'd just be flipping slots all the time. Okay, cool. So that's the handle. And that obviously goes in the side here. Mate, it's seriously dark, isn't it? Thanks for sticking around, listening to me. I've never done an unboxing video before, so I was told by a few people to definitely do this. So that's how it looks once the handle's on. Quite nice. Such a compact little package. So the handle goes into there. It says grip, I believe. And so grip makes sense into there. And then it's good. So you've got these 2 ports here, right? And the reason you've got 2 ports is because when you're working with an assistant, so a first AC, and they are doing run stop control for you, they will plug into the remote access here. And then they will have that, you know, whatever they're using, if they're using Arri High 5, whatever, they will be able to run and stop your camera, or if you got it on a gimbal, whatever. So yeah, that's it. The Burano, you see what I'm talking about? This, actually, before I go, this here, so good. That is just the best engineering of a stock handle I've ever seen. That thing there. You know, quick release, awesome. You used to have to buy a third-party thing for that. I just love that so much, so much. I do wish though, something that I really wish with this handle is that I wish you could actually detach this, like you can unscrew it. I wish you could detach it and just attach it there, sort of like the FX6, so you could do both. Because when you're like me and you're operating from the hip a lot, or the chest, or on an easy rig, this is too far away. So you want to sort of have something a bit closer to the body. But yeah, I'm super stoked with this. I can't wait to just use this camera more. And just, I'm so used to it already and how it works and what it does, but there's just something different when you actually own the camera. You can just get to know it a lot more. And yeah, definitely a big purchase, a hard purchase to make, but it's really the most sensible purchase that I think I've made, especially regarding cameras. So I hope this unboxing video was good for you. it was nice to make it. I probably will do more from now on because that was pretty easy. And you can just hear my kid and the kids next door at the moment just going crazy in the hallway, dropping stuff, throwing stuff. So apologies if that audio has been distracting. But yeah, there it is, the Sony Burano, my new Sony Burano. So thanks, team. I hope to show you more. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should do as well. You know what? I've totally forgotten, actually. Just taking it back for a second here because I nearly got off the, I nearly wrapped it. So something else we should do, actually. Oh my gosh, that is just so hardcore stuck on there. So before I go, like I just realized I looked down at the ground and I was like, oh, the E-mount's there. I was talking to a guy the other day. I'm going to bump the ISO up again. We are going to 5,000 EI, 6400 EI. Why not? I was talking to a guy the other day, right, who didn't realize that the Venice and the Burano have E-mounts, like E-mounts behind the PL mount. And I thought that was just a common knowledge thing that everyone knew. But people who, I guess, aren't familiar with this ecosystem don't realize that. And I think it's like the smartest thing to have an E-mount behind it, because that's what, even on the Venice end, like you wouldn't think that that would be a thing, right? That they'd have an E-mount. But I have used Venice with E-mount lenses a few times and it's been awesome. I've really liked it. It's so dark that my lamps are coming on too, so apologies for the color shift. I am just doing this in my lounge room. Apologies for the color shift, yeah. But yeah, so this guy didn't realize that there was an E-mount underneath here. And I think it's the best thing. Like I have been using the Sigma 28 to 45 Cine a lot at the moment on the Venice and on the Burano. And it's been fantastic because you can just go E-mount and it saves you so much weight. Look at that sensor. 8.6K, beautiful sensor. Man, seriously cool. Looks phenomenal. I'm so terrified about this. Something I hate is they don't give you any option to cover those pins once the PL mount's off. You put an E-mount lens in there and those pins are constantly shown. So I'm just going to pop that PL mount back on. First job I do with it this week is going to be E-mount. It'll be the Sigma 28 to 45, and then I'm just going to use a for my tight lenses, my 65 and 105 Sigma PL mounts, but I'm not going to use this PL mount because I'm on set. I will just be using a you know, like a wooden camera E to PL mount adapter instead. So I can use the autofocus for the 28 to 45 and then just pair it with manual focus from my focus puller for the tighter lenses as well. So that's what's great about this. I don't see autofocus taking over from focus pullers in my line of work anyway. I think it's just a nice to have. I still need a focus puller. There's still stuff that autofocus can't do. And I like having a focus puller because they are just so much more than just someone who keeps your images sharp. They are someone who is on your team. They are someone who is emotional support, physical support. They are the lord of the camera. They keep all your stuff working so that you can just focus as a DP on making beautiful pictures. And that is what your job is as a DP. So PL mounts back on there. Oh, apologies for that. We nearly left without even opening them up. Chucking the grip back on. Plugging it back in. Okay. Plugging that into the side. Fantastic. What a great camera. I'm so stoked about this. Thank you so much for joining me on such an exciting day where I get to open my brand new Sony Burano, something I've been working towards for a long time now. So, all right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.